Hi, this is Joe Erickson from Tech Elevator, and I'm here to answer your questions. And the question I'm looking at today is, what are some basic projects I can try to see if I even like programming? That's a good question, because dipping your toe in to see if you even like this before you dive into really trying to learn it is pretty important. There are other jobs other than programming in technology, but programming is kind of the big one right now. So how do you even know if it is as mind-numbing as you think it might be, or if it's fun and interesting? Well, first I would suggest that you go through a website called Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp is a site that will basically run you through the basic materials of building a web application. So learning languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Understanding how web applications are built and sort of how things are put together and what you need to think about as you build things. Those are pretty important. And if you can run through those tutorials sort of on that site and actually go through all of them and not be bored to tears and do some of the extra little projects that are on there, that is a great first start to knowing if you like programming or not. If this is the most boring thing that you have ever done, not because you're excited to do something more complicated, but because it is just horribly annoying, then you might know at that point that maybe you don't like programming. And that's good to know now before you dive too far into this. So run through the Free Code Camp examples, and if you want to try some project that's a little bit bigger, maybe you want to build video games in some way. Well, that I would point you over towards a JavaScript website called Phaser. Phaser is a JavaScript library that you can use to make games that you can play in your browser and also on your mobile phones. There is a tutorial that's on there that helps you build a little platformer game that gives some of the basics of what a game engine is, as far as physics and how do I build platforms for a character to run on, how do I get the character to run on them, what sort of animation techniques are needed to have all this work. Phaser covers all of that. And having gone through Free Code Camp, you know a lot of JavaScript now at this point, and building a Phaser game of your very own is something that is entirely possible. So give those a try, and if you get through Free Code Camp and you really enjoy it, that might mean that a career in programming could be something for you. Thank you.